have to, your first video does not have to be the greatest thing that has ever graced the YouTube homepage. It just has to be there.
Hi, I'm Chili.
And I'm Taco.
And we are crafting Limelight.
Thank you for joining us. And today we are joined by our guest and teammate, Mr. GoofeeGoobed.
Hello.
So well, thank you for joining us, Goofy. We're all part of the Limelight SMP.
We're a community of content creators working together towards a similar dream.
And this podcast is to share what happens when a group of internet strangers starts a project with only 3 rules.
Number 1, must be over 18. Number 2, must create content. And number 3, don't be a pick. Axe.
Like, just be nice to the other humans.
Today we're going to give you an in-depth, behind-the-scenes look at everything that goes into building and maintaining our incredible team.
And not only what works well for us and our successes, but also our struggles and mistakes that we make along the way.
And Chili, you know what? We're total noobs. Why don't you tell them why we're doing it right now?
Sometimes it's really helpful to hear from people who are actively in the middle of figuring something out versus having an established content creator explain that journey after the fact. But regardless of how successful we end up being, we're going to document the process and share the lessons along the way, like friendship, because the real lesson is always friendship.
Aww.
And but that's another reason we're starting the podcast. It's literally just fun to hang out with friends and talk about random stuff and just what's happening on the SMP and in Minecraft. So yeah.
Yeah, so even if no one listens, we're still going to be having a good time, and we hope you guys are also, because you're all going to be listening.
Everyone. There's a third reason, and it's this meta strategy of content creation of that. So we're talking about making content and kind of that journey, and it's a strategy in itself to make a podcast. So hopefully that'll help us connect with a wider audience.
Yeah, and we can make connections and meet cool new people along the way, and maybe they'll check out all of our other content also.
Yeah. That's good. Oh, we lost Goofy.
I went to go kill a guardian.
That's exactly what Omni did. Is it us, Taco?
It might be. I'm just a chicken. All right, so today on the show, we have the pleasure of having the incredible Mr. GoofeeGoobed with us as our guest. We're going to get to learn a little bit about Goofy and where he came from and why he's here on the Limelight SMP with us.
You make it sound like what rock he crawled out from underneath. Like,
I just showed up one day on the server. No explanation. I just appeared one day.
And Goofy, we're also going to ask you to help us with a little recap of what's happened on the server since the last episode.
As well as help us drain this ocean monument and help us make our podcasting studio.
Free labor, free content. Thank you.
I'm going to go kill the other older guardian.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That sounds great.
Cool.
Oh, and we're also going to we're going to answer some community questions at the end of the podcast, and you can help us with those too.
Yeah, stick around. We had some good questions this week come from our public Discord server.
Yeah.
And there'll be a description of that or a link to that in the description wherever you're listening to this or watching this. So make sure to check that out, and don't forget to join and hang out with everybody.
Yeah. So you can also be harassed by me 6 level reminders.
Ah, yes.
Congrats, Chili.
Okay, so Goofy, you being our special guest today, what am I trying to say here?
Let's kick things off with some questions.
Yeah, so Goofy, I think you and I have been on the server the longest. I think of the people who are left, I think you've been here the second longest after me. So you joined pretty early on.
Yeah.
How did you start playing Minecraft?
I first heard about Minecraft back in grade 3, I think it was, from
Mm.
my friend, and he was describing to me this crazy amazing game where you could do whatever and, build, craft, mine, the whole thing. So he got me hooked on that. And the first time I had ever played it was on an Xbox 360. It's the first Minecraft I
Ah.
ever played. And then from there, it kind of developed into a crippling addiction of building blocks that has
Crippling
stemmed for the
addiction.
rest of my life.
That tracks.
So that kind of along that same lines though, Goofy, that was a long time ago. What what got you into content creation since?
Um, I think it was both like family upbringing. Like both my parents are in that kind of showbiz stuff. Like mom's a director, dad writes for shows and all that jazz. So it's in the family to do that kind of stuff. And I was always interested by it. And then learning that I was able to do that kind of style of stuff, which I always liked, right? Like I love movies, TV shows, anything like that. And then learning that I could do that similar stuff, but with playing games, which was something that I obviously really enjoy, was kind of a dream come true. And being able to watch like favorite YouTubers like at the time like people like Dan TDM and Captain Sparkles and just see how much fun they were having and just how cool it was always a big inspiration to do it. And then it kind of just became a thing that I did on and off. And then I finally
Mhm.
settled down and was like, all right, I should probably get serious about doing this and buckle down and actually start doing it. And that's where Limelight came in.
That's really cool that you could kind of combine two passions of yours to make one dream, you know.
Yeah.
What drew you to Limelight?
What drew me to Limelight?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Limelight specifically rather than just another
what
SMP.
stood out to you?
At the time, I was between SMPs. I had I was in that, you know, yearly Minecraft mood where you just go really hard into
Mm.
Minecraft for a month or whatever it is. So I was trying to find an SMP to play on, and I found one that I was like, all right, this seems interesting enough, but it's also run by a bunch of kids, so how good can it really be? And it ended up falling apart. And so I was looking
Mm.
on Reddit some more and I found Limelight, the Reddit post, and I was like, you know what? This actually seems pretty cool, and I'll check it out. And I applied, did my whole, you can call it
And
that an interview.
the infamous interview.
um, and then yeah, here we are now. But yeah, I think
Okay, so yeah, I have a question about the interview.
yeah.
Well, before
Not
you ask the question,
yeah.
let's kind of
Okay.
describe it a little bit, coming from both of you.
So I think in actuality, the it is like made scarier than it was. It was not
Yeah.
pleasant like the rest of the interviews were, but it also wasn't like I was sitting at my desk quaking in my boots fearing for my
Yeah.
life, right? Like I was
It was
just
just kind of serious.
it was very serious and I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting it to be like all that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they're just gonna ask me how old I am, content
Yeah.
creation and stuff,
Like the
and
little
then
formalities.
yeah, like the obvious stuff, and then I got drilled for like 15 minutes, and it was scary and confusing, and then it's
Now,
become a meme.
no,
Yeah, exactly.
it has. So now, when you say drilled for 15 minutes, who did the drilling? Who was that drill sergeant?
none other than your guest host, Genuine Chili.
Let me just paint another picture. In the super early days, it was just me and Omni and Kaizuma, and they didn't have a lot of specific like vision for how to do things. And so there was kind of a vacuum of how to run the interview. Like there were no planned questions. There was no structure whatsoever. So there was no precedent for how to run interviews. And so when they asked me to hop on the call, I was like, oh, okay, sure. Like, oh my gosh, like I should probably like have questions. Like it's an interview. And they didn't have any, okay, not like any, but I just had a lot of questions. And to be fair, for Goofy specifically, I had extra questions because I was extra skeptical of his application.
I did
Your
skip out on the
application,
application.
yeah, it was very brief answers, like full sentences. So, not like I don't know. It wasn't bad. Just wasn't very detailed or unique. And your age was like, I don't know, only 18. Like that could really go either way in terms of maturity. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
be like really sure that you were going to be you were going to be compatible with the other grown-ups.
The
What is
other
happening?
grown-ups.
Yeah, the other grown-ups.
Chili logs onto the server every day, and her arch nemesis is an 18-year-old.
Okay, but then here's the follow-up though. You absolutely held your own. Like you completely, like you took all the heat. And I was very impressed. So I did have a bunch of questions, and not all of them were like, they were like kind of like existential or like abstract questions that weren't really necessary. But I just wanted to hear some complete answers. I wanted to hear more about you, more from you. And you were just like really calm the whole time, and you just like thought about the question. And a couple times you were like, I don't know.
Now,
I don't know how to answer that. I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Chili, at the time, did you have the feeling that you were, grilling him, as we were saying?
A little, a
Did you?
little. I didn't expect it to become a meme, but I just like we didn't have any precedent for interviews, so I didn't really realize that it was like, out of character for the Limelight recruiting process, but it became that, yeah.
Sure. And well, like you said, you were one of the very first, and Goofy was very
Yeah.
soon to follow after you.
Yeah. That can't have been more than the second interview. It could have been
Yeah,
the first. I think it was the first one that I did.
it was
I
the first
think
one that you did, but I think the second one that
I
second or
think
third one.
Andre had joined before that.
Yeah, it was Andre and that one person that never logged onto the server. I forget what her name is.
Yeah, that person.
Rose or something like that.
Mm. Okay, so how did that not scare you off though?
Um, it did scare me, but it was also like after it was over
Yeah,
and we were kind of hanging in Discord for a little bit, and I'm like, okay, so that's not how the entire server is. That was just this one thing, and I think I can
yeah,
live with that.
yeah.
Right?
That's
Like I
good.
think I can move forward from that and, you know, be able to enjoy the server regardless.
I'm very glad that you did.
Goofy stuck around out of spite just to show you that he could hang with the other grown-ups.
The long game. Brilliant. But you're not only a rascal to me.
Oh
What
no.
is it like being the server's favorite rascal,
Uh,
favorite troublemaker?
it's great.
Yeah,
It's very enjoyable. On the one hand, it's like, all right, you can show up to like anything that people are doing, and everyone's gonna just go, "Oh, great, this guy's here. He's here to do something." but then you can also subvert expectations and just follow them around and not do anything.
Yeah, you really confused me yesterday when you were at my house and you were like, there's this fox here, and then you like helped me name it and stuff. And I was like, what are you doing? Where's what's the catch?
What do I owe you for this?
Yeah. No, he said he has to be nice so that Santa will bring him something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I need good presents from Sienna this year.
So, Goofy, on that same note, I mean, if anybody hasn't seen his videos, check him out. He's obviously known for a prankster, but what are some of your favorite favorite pranks, so to speak, that you've done so far this season?
Mm.
So that called me out. You said if you haven't seen him already, and the last thing I said was Santa. I was like, Santa has a YouTube channel? So Santa's a prank channel? Why haven't I known this? I think they're two bits that aren't like the most extravagant, but they still crack me up every time. Is going to someone's house or to someone's build and placing down a sign that says "Property of GoofeeGoobed" is
Classic.
is a classic favorite of mine. And then whoever like changes the G on the Limelight sign, I think that's pretty funny as well.
Whoever changes the G.
Yeah, the G to be orange
Yeah.
is also pretty funny.
No idea who could be doing that, huh?
But now it's purple and it's kind of upsetting. But you know, there's half of the half of the letters are orange, so it's okay.
Mm.
So it's okay for now until after the
I think it's gonna
Halloween
get
season.
yeah, I think it's gonna get changed back though.
Oh, well, we'll figure something out.
So is there anything that's really like taken you aback or surprised you at all about joining this server? I mean, you said that the server before this one did not work out for you very well. It just fell apart. And is there anything that surprised you about this one or has continued to surprise you?
I think the biggest surprise has been just that Limelight has succeeded on its promises and that it has like lasted. Because I think most SMPs that advertise themselves the way Limelight does, or that like with a content creator SMP, or most SMPs that kind of roll around that aren't as established, they tend to, usually last about maybe a month, 2 months, and then kind of die off just from inactivity and stuff like that. But
Mm.
yeah, I think I've just been very impressed and happy that Limelight has actually lasted and is still around however many months later.
I think we're rolling into 6 here pretty soon, right?
I couldn't know. I'm bad with time.
Bad with time.
Coming from the one who showed up for this recording on time.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm good at like being on time, but when it comes to like knowing when things happened, I group a lot of my earlier memories to being at 6, and they definitely are not all at 6, but I just say, oh yeah, I was about 6 years old and this happened, and it makes me sound like the age of 6 was the most eventful year of my life.
Yeah, when I got my driver's license.
I was about 6 years old.
But actually, as of recording right now, the server has been open for exactly 6 months.
Wow.
Really? Happy birthday, Limelight.
I misspoke. I meant 5.
Oh.
I don't know why I said that. It's because it's the 6th. And so I was like, okay, that was terrible.
Today's the 7th, isn't it?
Climatic.
No, it's the 6th.
Yeah, but
it is?
But because it is the 6th.
Oh, see what I mean?
Okay, but I'm also curious what you would attribute that to, that we're still a thing and that we have not just burnt out within a month.
I think it helps that pretty much everyone here is like an actual adult and has lives outside of Minecraft, and so you don't get burnt out as much. Or it's harder to get burnt out when you're not putting in the grind every single day. And then it's like, all right, well, I've played this game for like 2 weeks straight now with no breaks for 8 hours a day. I'm bored of it
Okay.
now. And
Yeah.
then and so there's that, and it's also just like everyone knows everyone. And so if you see someone online, it's like, all right, well, I'll join them, see what's going on, what's happening, even if it's just for 5 minutes. So it helps that there's usually almost always someone online.
Mm. Yeah, and it's a small group. Like we do all know each other. We're
Yeah.
not just like adding people every week.
I think that same thing goes too for like, for example, if somebody's streaming on Twitch, like the other night, Fireheart was streaming on Twitch. I couldn't hop
Mm.
in game. I was busy in real life, but I was at least able to pop Twitch open and, interact a little bit on there. And I think
Yeah.
we all kind of do that as a group.
Yeah.
Do you have any long-term goals for this season? Or are you
No, I don't think that far ahead.
flying by the seat of your pants, huh?
Pretty much. I tend to have an idea for something and then put all my time and effort into completing that idea and then having nothing to do for another week and then rinse and repeat. So that's like why restocking GoofeCo hasn't happened. It's because I just haven't had the
It's like
mindset to go and
smaller.
do that yet. Yeah, it's smaller and I'm like, I need
Mm.
something big to work on. So
Yeah.
I've been racking my brain trying to find something good or bad.
Well, I mean,
Oh God.
your base is quite the emporium. You've got a couple different farms
Mm.
set up there, and I mean it's very large.
I built, I think all three of those farms, like the big iron farm, the big guardian farm, and the big raid farm, I did each of those in like one or like two gameplay sessions, one of like getting all the materials and then one of just building the whole thing.
Wow.
And
That
it's just because I'm like, if I don't do it, then it'll never get done.
yeah, knock it all out as soon as you can.
Yeah.
So I watched a movie. I watched an episode recently of somebody else's channel when they were saying that mega builds are bad for the Let's Play community. And it was a really interesting perspective of like basically that it's monotonous and kind of not just boring, but it like makes it harder for people to have variety in their episodes and stuff. And I can see that for myself because I'm not that skilled of a player, but I was kind of curious like how you see that with like mega builds.
I built like one mega base in my Minecraft career, and it's because I just I couldn't think of like what to base it around or what to do it around. So I ended up taking inspiration from the interwebs and
Mm-hmm.
doing it based around that. And when it was done, I felt proud that it was done, but then I was like, okay, well, now what? I just have a larger
Mm,
house with some more stuff in it, but
mm,
nothing has really changed about anything. So I think they're like interesting and they're definitely cool to accomplish, but they're also like most things in Minecraft, not for everyone, and you don't have to do it to
yeah.
feel like you've completed the world or whatever.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could move on to kind of like a recap of what's been going on this on the server.
Yeah, do you want to kick us off with that, Goofy? What have you been working on recently?
Well, I got sued. That's
That
that's
Yeah,
was a good
happened
event.
since
I
the
rep
last
I
episode.
represented you. Not very well. You still had to pay.
Yeah, we lost. Well, speaking of payments, I I think this is the reason why I wasn't like I actually wasn't allowed to represent myself. I was
Oh
banned
my
from
God.
it. I was like, Slushy, can I represent myself? She goes, no, you have to
So
find
you're
someone.
blaming Taco?
No, I'm not blaming Taco at all,
That's what it
but
sounds like.
no, I'm explaining that I think the reason why I wasn't allowed to represent myself stems from the fact that I got sued for what 8 diamond blocks, I think, right?
I think that was the final
Yeah.
result, yes.
And I have now whittled it down to 2 diamond blocks, and Slushy has to help me with the path. So
How?
I agreed to play a game of Overwatch with her.
You're kidding. Okay. Wow. What a softie.
So,
Classic sweet slushy.
well, not so sweet because she sued me and was like, "Oh,
Pranked her.
emotional
Shut
damage
up.
for." She
You
said there was
pranked her.
emotional damage for stuff that she never even fixed, and also that it had been there for so long.
I know she hadn't noticed for a long time.
It was there for so long.
I was on her live stream when she was walking through KP for the first time in like a couple weeks. And I was like, did you see the thing with your shop? And she was like, what? No, what are you talking about? And then she went over and looked at it.
Yeah, so I'm
Oh,
not sure how devastating it really was, but
yeah.
I'll I'll take the court case because it was good content,
It
and
was
that
good
was
content. It was a really nice
It
community event.
it was a great
oh yeah.
video. I just watched it last night actually. I laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed quite a bit.
I enjoyed making that. That was a blast, especially the garlic bread. It's really good.
Yeah, and you're drinking.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
that
you
was so
preface it
funny.
that I drank iced tea because
As loud
that
as
makes it
you
sound like I
possibly
was
could. Yeah, very true. And your
makes it
drinking
sound like I was just
habits.
throwing it back on stream.
Your drinking habits, Goofy.
Yeah, not those were fun.
Yeah, thanks for clearing that up. I could have chose a better choice of words, I suppose.
It was definitely a blast.
How about you, Chili? What do you got going, or what's been going on recently for you on Limelight or off Limelight for that matter?
Well, I've been just like slowly building on my tower. And that I've been making good progress on that. But I've
Yeah,
also been like really
I said it's starting to look nice.
Oh, thanks.
It didn't before. It's just starting to.
No, it was so unfinished for so long that it was like, yeah, I just really needed to get some progress made.
Chili
okay.
again, 2 episodes in a row.
Oh no, I am very, very far away.
Oh no.
Oh
Very
great.
far away. There's a portal on the roof, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fine. I have exactly 7 minutes to get there. I know because I have lived that.
Isn't it 5 before an
No,
item
it's 7.
despawns?
No, it's 7. Trust me.
Oh,
It's
okay.
7.
No, okay, yeah.
I would know.
Oh yeah, from
Yeah. Yeah.
From
That incident.
from that time. No spoilers. Everybody go check that out. There's a short or 2 on Chili's channel.
The timing was just like that's the most incredible timing I've ever seen. Anyway, so I've been working on my tower and I've been doing kind of a deep dive into what kind of content I want to be making and maybe trying out some different styles. You're right, Taco. The mushrooms really do spread.
I told you.
Side note. Thank you for telling me that.
Just look at my skin.
Yeah. It's a bit concerning. I actually recorded an episode in German this week, which is totally out of my comfort zone. So I'm going to be trying like a few new things with kind of the style of my episodes and kind of treating the season 1 as season 0 because I don't really have enough of a following that I'm like risking alienating my adoring fans. It's a good time for me to find like what
Kind of how you want to do things.
like what kind of content suits me.
I think that kind of goes for a lot of us too.
What do you
just
mean?
trying to figure out what we want to do.
Yeah, figure
kind
out
of content.
what kind of content we want to make, and that's awesome. So German episode, are you gonna do any sort of subtitling on that at all? English?
Absolutely.
Or...
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I made it. I made a little side channel for the German content, and if it's popular on any level, I could do German content on Limelight. But I did a little collaboration with somebody else who speaks German because I was too shy to do it myself. So I'll put that on the German channel, and then I'll also do like a subtitled version on my regular channel as well.
That sounds fun.
We also, yeah, what else did we do this last little bit?
That's the Halloween stuff, right?
Yeah, that was a cool
Crystal's
game.
Halloween game and
Yeah.
the graveyard that exists now.
Yeah, I know. Anae started working on that. So myself, I have finished my mini game finally after.
Oh yeah, sorry, Taco. Taco, what have you been up to recently?
I have finished my mini game after months of agony.
That's
And,
amazing.
Omni, I'm failing Omni. I don't have wings on. I forgot to sleep.
Oh,
Yeah,
There we
geez,
go.
come on, T-dubs.
T got you.
So yeah, I finished up my mini game. So hopefully we will get a date set to play that. Hopefully that's going to be like a server-wide thing.
Mm.
I'm going to be working on a kind of like a. I mean, my base is obviously kind of fungal themed, so I'm going to be working on like an underground fungal farm kind of thing. So that'll be coming up in the next episode or two, and then I need to start working on some villagers. I've got a breeder. I've had a breeder for a couple of months now, but I've done nothing with it. Not even a simple basic iron farm. So I think I'm going to do a little villager breeder or trading hall, excuse me. I'm going to go more towards masons for their block trades.
Okay.
So those are my future plans.
Are you gonna do another shop or just for yourself?
I'm not sure yet. We'll see what comes of it and what's out there. There's shops for a lot of things right now, but I'm not sure that like Mason Trade has a if there's anybody selling things like that at this time. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see when I get it completed, you know.
Someone needs to do like a mud shop or like a clay, like
I
mud
think
blocks shop.
Crystal's working on that.
I thought about doing that. I've got a lush cave under my base also, so I was kind of thinking about maybe combining those two things together, like fungus and mud.
Well,
But
Crystal's also working on a matcha moss shop, so
That's been
it's been in
there for
progress
a
for a
while.
good
Yeah.
while with no stock.
Yeah.
well, what do you guys say we kind of move on to some listener questions?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Okay, so the first one came from Tisa, Tisa Maya, another one of our members here on Limelight. And she wants to know, how did we all get our names? And I think Goofy is our honorary guest. You get to go first on this one.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a tale of three musketeers, actually. So there was me and my two friends, and we had watched the original SpongeBob movie for like the sixth time or whatever. And we were all playing on Xbox. This was like years before I got my PC. Because my name on most things used to be uh Pepperoni, which was like a play on my name and pepperoni because I liked pepperoni pizza,
Who doesn't, right?
right? So it wasn't that original or amazing or anything. And we'd watch the SpongeBob movie and classic song, the Goofy Goober Rock. And we listened to that. We were just talking amongst ourselves and we were like, hey, we should all kind of have like the same name on Xbox. So my one friend, he's Goofy with a Y. He's GoofeeGoobed with a Y. The other one's GoofeeGoobed with an IE. And then I am GoofeeGoobed with two E's. So that's the
That's
three
so
of us.
wholesome.
That
That's so
is.
wholesome.
Yeah, so that's how I got my name.
Do you guys still play together?
Occasionally, yeah. We all grouped together and we all built PCs, and then the two of them kind of drifted away from PC gaming, but I stuck with it. So they
Mm-hmm.
play on Xbox, and I still see one of them quite a bit because I live very close to him. So see one of
Mm-hmm.
them quite a bit. Um, but yeah, they still hang out.
That's awesome.
Cool.
How about you, Chili? Why are you Chili? Why is Chili Chili? And
Why are you so
why
genuine?
are you
I
genuine?
I don't I don't even know if I can tell a story because I was kind of saving it for like I don't know, like 100 subscribers or something. Um, but I don't have to. So hold on, let me get somewhere where I can stand without getting attacked so I can actually tell the story confidently. I mean, I'm probably gonna get a chili pepper tattooed. Like just a little thing, like not like a serious thing, but it was a very big, like, not like a turning point, but it was a significant moment. And it sounds very, very, very silly to explain it, but I took a lot of meaning out of it. So, just like for the context of it, I am fluent in German, but I do sometimes like still feel awkward and it's not the same. It's not as easy to communicate and connect with people. So I sometimes feel pretty awkward and like a fish out of water, the odd one out. I'm one of the very, very, very few Americans on the team. And we went out for pizza, and I ended up sitting with not my teammates. And I was like, oh my God, I just felt like so like, what am I doing? Like, what am I going to say to these people? Like, I don't know. I just felt so I don't know, uncomfortable in my own skin sitting there and just, awkward and shy as people do. It's fine. And then I ordered my pizza. I ordered a veggie pizza with no cheese, and then they brought it with cheese, and I'm vegan. And I really try to be like not a fussy vegan, but I sent it back because I wasn't going to eat it with the cheese. And I was like, God, like I'm sitting here, I feel so silly and self conscious, and I have to send my pizza back. And everyone's almost done eating, and they bring my pizza. There's no cheese on it. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm going to sprinkle some chili flakes on it. And there's just like the normal, like chili flake dispenser shaker things on the table. And so I just like sprinkle some on without thinking about it, just like muscle memory. And then this waft of like chili dust hits my nose. And I realized that I have made a terrible, terrible mistake. It is so spicy. Just the smell of it, I know that it's like pulverized, intense chili. And it's all over my pizza. Like there's no part of the pizza that is untouched by this. I I like spicy food, and it was just too much. And so I was sitting there, and I just had this moment of like, am I gonna send? I can't. I'm gonna describe how spicy it was, but I was like, do I send this back, or like do I order another one? Like, do I not eat it? Do I just sit here like a super weirdo not eating my own pizza because I made it too spicy?
That you've already sent
And
back once.
exactly. And I was just like, God, like it just felt like the epitome of just feeling self-conscious and shy and uncomfortable. And I was like, you know what? No. Chili, you can sit here and be weird or uncomfortable, whatever, or you can eat every last goddamn bite of this pizza and persevere and just like whatever and just go through it. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna eat this damn pizza. And it was obvious how spicy it was, like by my face, because I was like getting tears in my eyes basically. It's a very vulnerable space to be in, and like opening up about like just I don't know. I didn't say how awkward it was, but anyway, some people were like, hey, come on, is it really that spicy? And so I would let them try a bite, and every single time they would like not speak and just like look down, and they were like, you are absolutely crazy, I would not be able to eat that. And I started like getting the attention of the other people like sitting around the table, and a few people tried it. And so, but it turned into them kind of like cheering me on, sort of like everyone was like trying to, they were watching to see whether or not I was going to eat this pizza. And they were like on my side, they were rooting for me. And at the end, literally literally had the and then everybody clapped moment. So my table and the table next to me clapped for me finishing my very, very spicy pizza. And my teammates at the table behind us, they were like, why are you guys clapping? And I'm like, Chili finished her pizza. And they were like, okay, that's good for her. I don't know if it was like the endorphins of the very spicy pizza, but I decided to be more brave and just be more confident in my life. And I decided to let the chili represent that for me.
You embraced it.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like you are a little bit tougher when it comes to chili flakes now, or are you put less on?
Nothing could be worse than what I went through. It was so bad that basically my tongue was like numb. Like I could feel no more pain. Like the pain was maxed out, so it really didn't matter.
Ugh.
It was just, but yeah, it's a story of like resilience and overcoming your insecurities. So I decided to wear it on my sleeve.
There you go.
And yeah, and I think of myself as an honest and genuine and authentic person, and I thought that was a good adjective for myself.
That's awesome.
That's my big story.
Because genuinely, quicksand does exist in Minecraft, right? Quicksand just
Yeah, exactly.
just happens to
I would
swallow
never
only.
deceive anyone
No, because you're genuine.
so much.
Mhm.
But genuine doesn't. There's some wiggle room in genuine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm genuinely devious at times.
Taco, where did your name come from? Where does
Yeah.
hashtag taco stem from?
Well, I've recently found out that the most boomer thing you can do is say the word hashtag.
Well, it
So,
depends on the context, but
so we'll start with the
Like you
taco.
feel like, yeah.
At my job, I not so much anymore, but when I first started there 12, 13 years ago, I worked with a lot of Hispanics and Spanish-speaking people. And I took 2 years of Spanish in high school. But by the time I'd started working there, I had not remembered anything. The only word I could remember was taco. So I would just run around and taco, taco, taco. And I was a smaller person, so it started as taquito for a while, little taco.
Mm.
And then as I gradually got a little bigger and older and matured a little more, I moved on to a full-fledged taco rather than a taquito.
Aw.
But then obviously over the years also I continued to remember my Spanish and learned a lot more, and I'm for the most part fluent in Spanish now, but boy, I tell you, the first couple years at that company were pretty rough.
Oh man. That's nice though. You kind of grew. That's another like vulnerability
Right,
that you kind of grew into and made your own.
right. And then the hashtag part, I mean, there's just so many tacos out there on the internet. I just needed something to separate myself from the rest of the tacos.
Mm,
So you
mm-hmm.
make yourself sound old.
So I made myself sound old inadvertently, accidentally.
It's important though. You have like a demographic for your viewership, and it's not Gen Z.
Is that right, Goofy?
Yeah. I feel like it's funny though that like both the names for you guys stem from places of like actual like things you would think adults have their nicknames and names and stuff come from, right? Like places of vulnerability and stuff. And then my username comes from watching the SpongeBob movie with my friends,
Yeah.
which is wildly different.
It's also a thing.
Oh,
I don't know.
SpongeBob.
I do think that like, kids these days are way more like casual about their usernames. Like it doesn't necessarily have to like define them. And I felt like really serious about choosing mine.
Like also there are a lot of games where like you can like for something like Valorant, which is a game that I've been playing a lot more. Um,
Mm,
you see a lot of very unique usernames because you can make an account for free. And so, if
mm,
you're like, all right, well, I feel like changing my name to something matching with my friend, I can do that and it's fine and it's
mm,
easy. And then you also see a lot of um, e-couples with matching names, which are
mm.
towards varying degrees of concern.
Oh no.
you, you might.
Okay, but also another factor, Saka, when you and I first started using the internet, not all the damn usernames were taken.
True.
And I think because literally just many usernames have been taken, people have just had to expand and get more creative
Right.
and be more relaxed about adding numbers or just, grabbing whatever.
But you also wanted to make it, personable enough to, I guess define a brand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy to find a combination of words that wasn't taken.
Mm-hmm. Well, should we do another question, Chili? Do we have time for another one?
Yeah, we can always edit it out later
What's
if we don't.
what why don't you pick one from that list there?
Um, I think we'll save the third one. So Putnam Pig asked, "How long does it typically take for you to edit a video?" So let's change that to episode, maybe.
Okay.
All right.
Um, I am really curious how long it takes Goofy to edit an episode.
Let's say, for example, this last episode that you put out,
Yeah.
the court case, and for context, the final product was about a 15-minute long, give or take,
Mm,
episode.
Most of the time, I will start a project. And so I do it in Premiere Pro. I'll make a project, I'll put in the video, whatever, and then either I'll leave it and come back to it later, or I'll just start doing the editing right then and there. So for the most part, I like in Minecraft, I am very like oriented on just starting it and then finishing it in like the
mm.
same uh
Session.
session pretty much. So for this video, um I started it and then didn't really work on it for like 5 days, really. And then I was looking on my YouTube, I'm like, oh, I haven't uploaded a video in like 2 weeks, and that's a long
Mm,
time for me at least. I'm like,
yeah.
all right, 2 weeks without anything is a long time for me. I should probably get this video done. And so I sat down and I edited the whole thing together in about 5 hours, I think, maybe less. Um, and that's
That's
tends
pretty
to
fast.
be, yeah, I edit. I mean, I've also been editing for years because, like I said before, I was on and off. And so I had a lot of experience with Premiere Pro and with editing in general. So
Mm,
I've gotten it down like I did it in school, did it outside of
mm,
school for like years and years. So I've gotten my process down to a pretty
mm.
easy thing to replicate. And I know what I like to look for in my footage and in my
Yeah.
videos. Like I try to keep them pretty snappy, keep the theme lighthearted, and just play some nice music in the background and all that. Have a couple zoom ins and zoom outs here and there. And depending on the
Mm,
type of video I make, add some green screen effects, stuff like that. But yeah, most of the time, if I like am really focused on editing or I'm in a really good mood for editing, I can s- chop up a video in about 3, 4 hours.
I
that's
will
very
say
impressive.
I really like your editing,
Yeah.
specifically in your last video, just because it is fresh in my head. Like I said, I watched it last night. Uh, you'd mentioned the zoom in thing. You were streaming when you were recording that, so you had your face cam in there,
Yeah,
and I love that. Like we were talking about when you were drinking, um, your iced tea, of course.
of
I
course.
I loved how you kind of like froze everything in the video or the audio anyways and zoomed right in on your face while you were doing that. you know
Yeah,
I thought that was great. But yeah, there's a lot of things, obviously not just that I do enjoy about your editing. I think you're very good at it, and the fact that you've been doing it for so long does show.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have a distinct style, and that's really hard for people to develop.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's like a big struggle people have is trying to figure out what they like want to make because
Yeah.
you I think it's fair to say that a lot of people, especially around my age, when they start doing this, they're like, all right, well, I want to start doing this and I want to be the next big thing, right? Like I
Yeah.
want to be the next thing. So, what am I gonna do? But then you start looking at what like these like let like streamers, for example, like what these top streamers do. So people like Ludwig and Nabi and Valkyrie and Pokemon and all these people who are people
Mm.
who already have like such established themes and ideas and what they do that it's
Mm.
hard to replicate those without that same audience. Like
Yeah.
it's harder to say like, all right, well, this person just did like a 24-hour stream, so I'm gonna also do that. But
Mm.
it's easier to do a 24-hour stream when you have 15,000 people watching you and keeping you awake and keeping you entertained and stuff than it is for
Yeah.
a 24-hour stream with like just you or you and your friend or something like that. And that's not to say that you shouldn't do it, but it is definitely harder to try and uh, copy off of what someone else is doing if you don't have like a similar system to what they have or what they're doing.
Mm.
That 24-hour stream, Goofy, you sound like you speak from experience a little bit on that.
That was a very hard thing to do. Um,
I give you
both
credit.
Well,
because
There's no way I could have done it.
what would you recommend to people who are starting out as far as how to develop your own style?
just put stuff out there. It doesn't have to be good. Just like the more content that you put out and
Mm.
at least semi consistently, right? Like you
Mm.
don't have to, your first video does not have to be the greatest thing that has ever graced the YouTube homepage. It
Yeah.
just has to be there. And the more you do it, the more you'll figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it. And it
Mm.
took like me a really long time to figure out what I wanted to do. And with my newer YouTube videos, I'm like in a happier place with them compared to
Mm.
my earlier stuff where it was like just gameplay, no voice, music, and quick edits and stuff like that. Compared to now where I'm like, all
Mm.
right, well, I'm comfortable with talking and having my face and seeing strangers on the having strangers on the internet see my face and stuff like that. I'm more
Mm.
comfortable with it now. And
Mm.
that has helped develop the style of like, all right, well, I can do more bits and stuff like that on camera without having to necessarily talk about it. Like with Taco was saying, just going right up to the microphone and sipping iced tea loudly.
Definitely. That's also helps us get to know you better and helps us be able to make a connection with you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not that showing your face is necessary, Taco. I always feel the
No,
need to
it is
qualify that.
absolutely not. Yeah.
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 You
Yeah,
guys,
they're
again, no offense to yous, but that's my face. That's not for you guys to enjoy. I enjoy it myself.
absolutely. And we have someone like H2O Delirious, super famous YouTuber. Nobody knows what he looks like, what his name is, anything about him.
Mm.
And that's that. And there's no shame in that.
Sure.
No shame in that
Yeah,
game.
there's different, you can make eye contact in your Minecraft skin. I mean, it's not necessary at all. It's really not to show your actual IRL face.
Definitely. And I mean, I guess I kind of look at it like, for example, I think a lot of Minecrafters look up to like Etho, Suzuma, and up until recently,
Mhm.
Dream. Had never shown his face
Mm.
either. But they're pretty important people in this community, and
Mm.
some of them pioneers. I guess the way I see it is like I don't have to. So,
Absolutely not. Yeah.
how about you, Chili? How long does it take you to edit an episode?
Oh God. Days. Days. It takes days. I've been trying to streamline my process a little bit more as far as gathering up the content as I go, like rendering replays. kind of as I do them so that when I can sit down, like they're all ready. And I'm still like learning DaVinci, and man, yeah, it's kind of a struggle. I am a lot faster than I was. I think my first video took me an actual like whole week of like a few hours a day, like a really long time. Um, so it's kind of hard to say. I haven't made very many episodes. So,
How about a short? You put out a lot of
oh,
shorts.
shorts are so easy. That
They
takes me
are.
like 20 minutes, maybe.
Yep. I was
Well, it also
They're
depends
so
on what your
wonderful.
short is about.
Yeah.
Because, like
But
for
like if I'm just
chili,
grabbing a highlight from my content, it's like nothing. I
yeah,
just
it's like half an
clip
hour
it and
maybe.
then throw a couple stickers on it and some text, and then like that's it.
sure. Yeah, I kind of am the same way.
I mean, they could be better.
It takes me forever to edit an episode, but a short I can
Mm,
usually get done in 20, 30 minutes. I think last episode here of the podcast, I'd mentioned that my first episode I spent probably about 12 hours on.
mm,
My second episode, and I think was even more than that, but I was also every time I edit an episode, I try something new because I'm wanting to
mm,
learn
same.
a little bit more about Resolve every time.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, a lot of that obviously depends on how much footage you have to go through. So
Yeah.
I think that I would like to start getting into a space where you are, where you're editing as you go. Because I don't know, I just feel like that could make things
Mm,
easier in the long run. But I right now do not do that. I record it all and then sift through hours and hours and hours and hours of footage to
mm.
put it all together at the end.
Well, it really helps if I kind of plan some sort of outline, or like if I know what the story is, basically. So you don't need to show everything. I'm trying to work on that a little bit more though, too,
Then not
of
showing
being more
everything.
intentional. Yeah, and not feeling like I have to present it like a diary, but more like this is the thing I'm trying to talk about or show or share. And then like how best can I do that given the footage that I have, and not necessarily literally including everything. Like I'm not super worried about continuity,
Sure.
like a little, like I don't want to like have things completely out of order, but if I like don't show my base one episode because I'm focusing on something else, that's no big deal.
I don't think I've been to my base in like the last 4 episodes since I built it, really, or at least on the videos. I don't think I've shown my base since I've built it.
Mm,
So there's a time when I've been trying to do a little bit on my base each episode, but
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I recently just got called out for not doing any interiors in my base.
Mm.
So that might be coming up here soon. But otherwise, I haven't been there in quite a few episodes myself.
That's okay. I really see this season as season zero of all of us like figuring out our styles and trying out new things. And yeah, I think so many of us have so much to learn, and learning from each other has been incredible
Definitely.
for not quitting.
Yeah, like Goofy
Like if I
said.
had to learn, yeah, like if I had to learn DaVinci by myself, I would not make anything. But be having you guys on hands every time, just be like, how do I do this? Or being able to reference questions that somebody else had. Yeah, that's the only way I've been able to make any content.
Get out. This is my
That's rude.
job. No, you took
We,
it.
we sleep in the bed, Taco.
Okay, at least let me set my spawn.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I'll bring
should
it
do
back.
that. I should do that.
There's no bed over here anymore, Chili.
Yeah,
Oh,
Taco broke it.
okay. I
Twice.
guess I'll, okay, there. So I think we should start wrapping it up. We have a team meeting to go to really soon.
Oh, we do. Very true.
I need lunch. Oh God.
Thank you for oh geez, words, man. Thank you for so much, or thank you so much for being our first like episode guest.
Yeah.
Omni was just our pilot episode guest.
Omni was just kind of there, right?
He was
No,
planned.
he was a
No, I
guest.
thought he was planned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Omni was a planned.
Yeah, no, he was just
featurette.
there, and you were much more special.
Yay. Well, thank you for having me. It was a great time.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
I look forward to seeing what you got coming out next.
No, you do not.
Oh, I probably don't. You're probably right. I probably don't.
But yeah, thank you for having me.
Definitely.
Great time.
Chili, anything else? Do we have a guest planned for next episode yet?
I bet we do, but let's pretend it's a secret.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
It's a surprise guest to everyone involved.
Well, guys, tune in next time to see our surprise guest.
Yeah,
Makes it sound like you don't have one.
Hey,
it sounds a lot like that.
But it's not like that, right?
no, not at all. Not at all.
Okay,
We're professionals.
Okay. Right. Clearly.
But all right.
If anyone has any questions for us, please join the public Discord. Come over to the green room if you're a content creator, and yeah, we'll answer your questions.
I can't waste
Those weren't
rockets
the right
like
ones.
that.
Those were not the right ones.
Pretty.
It's
like
Christmas colors.
Beautiful. What a cinematic conclusion to our episode.
All right.
Which is too bad for people who are not on YouTube right now.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Check us out on YouTube,
Fireworks.
everybody.
It's fireworks. It's fireworks, guys. That's what it is.
Audio listeners, love you to death.
All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank
This is
you.
fun. We'll see you on the
See you
next one.
time. Bye.
Bye.